freeze everything right now because what I'm about to reveal in the next 30 minutes will shatter every illusion you had about who truly protects you. Exactly 72 hours ago, while you slept peacefully knowing absolutely nothing, something happened in dimensions you can't even imagine exist. Something so disturbing, so impossible according to all known spiritual laws, that even the Prince of Darkness himself was left in complete shock. That person you cut from your life. Yes, that same one who tried to drain you, manipulate you, control you, reached such desperate levels of obsession that they did the unthinkable. They invoked the devil himself, gave him your photo, and asked for something that would freeze your blood if you knew. But here's what will leave you completely speechless. When the Prince of Darkness saw your image, when he detected the mark you carry, he did something he had never done in thousands of years of existence. He refused, rejected, said no with palpable terror, and it wasn't polite rejection. It was absolute, instantaneous, terrifying denial, as if your photo burned his hands, as if the invisible mark you carry was fire-consuming demonic flesh, as if he had just seen a cosmic warning screaming, "Touch this one and pay 7 times the price." Subscribe to this channel immediately and hit the notification bell, because what I'm about to show you about the evolved Mark of Cain that chosen ones like you carry is being systematically blocked, so you never discover the absurd level of protection operating over your life. Stay until the very last second because I'm going to show you exactly what happened in that invocation, what the devil saw in your photo that made him recoil, why that person now lives terrified, how the law of sevenfold operates automatically protecting you, and what this reveals about your true identity. Write 777 in the comments if lately you felt that toxic people from your past are having inexplicable collapses, and you're ready to understand why even demonic forces respect the ancestral mark you carry. Let's go back exactly 72 hours, 3:33 in the morning, the hour when the veil between dimensions becomes dangerously thin. That person, I'll call them, the desperate one, was having another night of obsessive insomnia thinking about you. It wasn't genuine nostalgia. It was that sick obsession of narcissists who can't stand losing control over someone who dared to evolve beyond their reach. They stalk you compulsively, check your profiles hoping, praying for signs that you collapsed without them. But that specific night, they saw your most recent photo, and something in that image disturbed them viscerally. It wasn't your face that changed. It was the frequency emanating from the image. The light in your eyes that seemed to burn through the screen. The authority visible in your posture that screamed a devastating truth. You're prospering exponentially without them. You're operating at an evolutionary level they'll never reach. The distance between you now is abysmal, like comparing a candle to the sun, a puddle to an ocean, an ant to a mountain. That realization sent them into a rage spiral so intense they began physically trembling. Because narcissists like them need to believe you're nothing without them, that you'll collapse, that you'll come crawling back. But your photo demolished that fantasy completely. It proved that every time they told you, "You'll accomplish nothing without me," were just projections of their own mediocrity. So they did what desperate people do when they lose all control. They decided to use forces they don't understand. If they couldn't have you back through usual emotional manipulation, they'd use demonic power. They researched obsessively for hours, found dark forums where people teach rituals that should remain forgotten, forbidden instructions, invocation methods that normal people would never touch. And there, while the world slept, they prepared everything meticulously. Black candles in a perfect pentagon, symbols drawn with their own blood on the floor, your photo in the center of the circle, and words that shouldn't be spoken by human lips, words that open dimensional doors, that call the attention of something they thought they could control. Because in the spiritual universe, nothing is free, especially not invoking the Prince of Darkness. The room's temperature plummeted instantly from 72 degrees to near freezing in seconds. It wasn't gradual cooling. It was as if all thermal energy had been sucked by a dimensional vacuum. The candles began dancing with impossible flames, green, purple, blue, oscillating without any wind. And then they felt it, that presence, heavy as a mountain on the chest, ancient as the first malevolent thought, malicious in ways the human brain wasn't designed to process without beginning to fragment. The air became dense, viscous, difficult to pull into the lungs. The smell of sulfur mixed with decomposition invaded the environment, making the stomach churn. He didn't appear with red horns and a pitchfork like a cheap movie. What materialized was something that made every cell scream to run, flee, get out of there at any cost. Shadows moving independent of light, eyes glowing with millennial intelligence and malice refined by ages, and power radiating in palpable waves. They were paralyzed, completely unable to move a muscle. The voice that filled the room didn't come from a specific place. It came from all places simultaneously, from the walls, from the floor, from the ceiling, and mainly from inside their own head. "Do you dare invoke me, insignificant creature?" The voice resonated at frequencies that made bones vibrate. "Do you dare tear me from infinitely more important matters by pronouncing words you barely comprehend?" They tried to speak, but their throat was closed. They barely managed to point with a trembling finger at your photo in the center of the circle. Tried to communicate through pure terror what they wanted. For him to destroy you completely. To bring you back humiliated. To make you pay for having dared to evolve without their permission. And then something happened that they never would have expected. The devil turned his attention to your photo. And for a fraction of a second, something passed through that malignant presence that seemed impossible. Genuine hesitation. Almost like sudden recognition. Involuntary respect. Ancestral fear resurfacing. As if he had just seen something that shouldn't be there. Something that broke rules he thought he controlled. "Where did you get this image?" The voice thundered, cracking the mirror on the wall. There was something different in the tone now. Less arrogance, more caution. They forced words through their throat. "It's him. It's the person I need you to bring back or destroy. I don't care which." Absolute silence. The shout shattered the mirror completely. Made the candles all extinguish simultaneously. Made them fall to their knees with hands covering ears that hurt. And when they looked up through tears of pain, they saw something that will haunt them for the rest of their life. That presence was visibly retreating, moving away from your photo as if it were acid, as if it were a trap, as if it were something that even he shouldn't touch. "You have no idea who this person is, do you?" The voice came with forced admiration. Reluctant respect ripped out by force. They stammered, "It's just a normal person I dated." Normal? The laughter was bitter, loaded with cruel irony. "Absurdly foolish creature. You came to me asking me to touch someone marked in that way? With that seal? You truly have no idea what you're asking for." The devil began circling the room, his presence heavy. "I'm going to tell you something I rarely share with insignificant mortals, just so you understand the magnitude of your suicidal ignorance." He stopped, turning toward them. "Do you know the story of Cain? Yes, that Cain. Humanity's first murderer. Killed his own brother out of envy. And do you know what the Creator did with him?" Heavy silence. "He put a mark on him. A mark of protection. And do you know what that mark said?" The voice became deeper. It said, "Anyone who touches Cain will be avenged 7 times. Not once. 7 times. Multiplication of consequences. Automatic cosmic law established by the Creator himself." He laughed bitterly. "And everyone thinks the mark was a curse. But it wasn't. It was brutal protection. It was a cosmic warning. Touch this one and pay multiplied price." Even after Cain committed the first homicide, the Creator still protected him with a law that even I need to respect. The devil turned toward your photo. And this person, they carry an evolved version of that mark. Not because they killed someone, but because they passed through trials that would make Cain's journey look like a walk in the park. Literal hunger. Devastating betrayal, soul-crushing loneliness, pain that should have corrupted. And do you know what happened? Dramatic pause. Instead of becoming corrupt, they evolved, maintained purity while developing strength. And when someone does that, they receive the mark of the protected chosen, an invisible seal that screams to beings like me, "Touch this one and pay 7 times the price." For those who want to go deeper, there's exclusive material in the description and pinned comment. The devil continued, his tone educational. "Let me explain how the law of sevenfold works in practice. Let's say, just as a hypothetical exercise, that I accepted your request. Let's say I attack this marked person, maybe cause an intense nightmare, block an opportunity, influence a betrayal. Small attacks, right?" He laughed darkly. "Now multiply each one by 7. It's not equivalent consequence, it's 7 times worse. So if I cause a nightmare, 7 nightmares return to me simultaneously. each one 7 times more intense. If I block one opportunity, 7 of my operations collapse instantly. If I influence betrayal, 7 of my alliances disintegrate. He began circling. And you know what's worse? The law doesn't just apply to me, it applies to anyone who tries to harm a marked chosen one. So if you try to curse this person, sabotage them, cause harm, everything returns to you sevenfold multiplied. His eyes gleamed with cruel amusement. By the way, you've already tried to harm them before, haven't you? Those emotional manipulations, those narcissistic little games, they paled. Yes, I see it. You caused damage. And do you know why they cut you off? Because the law was beginning to operate. Each manipulation accumulated consequence. And when they fully awakened, the law was activated retroactively. The devil laughed with pleasure. So everything you did against them, it's coming back. 7 times. That time you destroyed their opportunity out of jealousy? Wait for your next 7 opportunities to mysteriously collapse. That time you manipulated their friends? Wait for your friendships to disintegrate until you're 7 times more isolated. They began trembling. No. Yes. And now you invoked my power trying to use demonic forces against a marked chosen one. You multiplied the karma. It's no longer 7 times. Now it's 7 times 7, 49 times worse. The devil's presence changed, became heavier, more threatening. You know what irritates me? You invoked me, took me away from important matters, made me waste time. All this to ask me for something you should know is impossible. Cosmic suicide. They retreated. I didn't know. Exactly. You didn't know, didn't research, didn't understand, just assumed you could continue manipulating now that they've awakened. Arrogance combined with ignorance is an irritating combination for me. The devil approached. Let me teach you something about invoking forces you don't understand. When you call someone like me, you assume risks. And one of those risks is that I can decide you deserve to be permanently educated about why playing with darkness without wisdom is a catastrophic idea. No! They screamed, trying to run, but their feet were glued to the floor. I'm not going to kill you, that would be wasteful. Death is easy escape. No, I'm going to leave you alive, perfectly healthy in body, but always carrying the visceral memory of what you saw here. Then they felt something being etched into their soul. It wasn't physical pain. It was a mark being burned into their spiritual essence. Permanent knowledge that they tried to play with cosmic forces and were found despicable. Eternal humiliation of having been rejected even by the devil. Every time you look at that person's photo, the devil whispered, you're going to feel this. A wave of pure terror swept through them. You're going to remember that you tried to use my power against someone protected by something greater. And you're going to feel shame, fear, and impossibility. Any future thought of revenge will activate this mark automatically. Any manipulation plan will burn like red-hot iron. Any attempt at harm will make you feel pain, proportional times 7. You are permanently blocked from causing harm to them. He leaned closer. And it's not because I'm kind. It's because interfering with chosen ones under protection of the evolved Mark of Cain brings consequences that even I don't want to deal with. I'm blocking you to protect myself from repercussions. The devil sighed. You really don't understand how the universe works. Let me educate you briefly before I discard you. He began walking. There are levels in the cosmos, hierarchies established before humans crawled on this planet. At the top, the creative force, the one who struck me down, the one who established laws like the Mark of Cain, the one that even I recognize out of survival necessity. Below, archangels, Michael, Gabriel, Raphael, then common angels, legions of them, then elemental forces, gravity, time, space, and then beings like me, fallen angels, demons, powerful, yes, but still operating within hierarchy, still respecting laws. And way below, common humans, 99.9% living in complete ignorance, disconnected, blind, spiritually deaf. Those I can influence easily. Those are my hunting ground. The voice became heavier. But occasionally humans are born different, who carry something special from conception, prenatal mark, mission coded in spiritual DNA, purpose that transcends common existence. Those rare souls are protected in ways you can't comprehend. He pointed at your photo. This person is one of those souls, was marked before first breath, was chosen for a purpose your limited mind wouldn't process. And when someone is chosen like that, protection is automatic. It's not a choice, not negotiation. It's absolute cosmic law. Now let me speak directly to you. Yes, you watching this. Because this story isn't just about them. It's about you. It's about the mark you carry without perhaps fully knowing it. Do you know why that person reached the point of invoking the devil against you? Because they know they lost something immensely valuable. That they destroyed an opportunity with someone genuine. That they threw away a diamond thinking it was a common stone. And now that you shine with light, they'll never reach. Their desperation reached levels that transcend rationality. But here's the truth that needs to penetrate your consciousness. You don't need to fear manipulators from your past. You don't need to worry about people trying to curse you. You don't need to lose sleep over envious people plotting your destruction. Because all of them will hit the same invisible wall. Will find the same rejection. Will hear the same devastating no, whether from the devil, whether from witches, whether from any dark force. Because the law is automatic, operates independent of your belief. The protection over your life isn't something you consciously asked for. It's not the result of elaborate ritual. It's the automatic consequence of who you became through fire. It's the direct result of having survived what should have killed you. Of having gone through literal hunger without becoming corrupt. Of having been brutally betrayed without transforming into a cynical traitor. Of having experienced devastating loneliness without losing capacity to love. Of having gone through pain that should have turned you into a monster, but only strengthened you while maintaining purity. Every trial you went through without becoming corrupt added a layer to your mark. Every time you could have fallen but chose to rise reinforced protection. Every moment where you could have given up but decided to continue intensified the invisible seal you carry. And now you operate under protection that makes even the devil think twice before touching you. Not because you're perfect, but because you're proven, tested, approved in a furnace that melts the absolute majority of humanity. Let me show you practical signs of this mark operating in your life. Because you've probably already seen this happen multiple times but didn't connect the dots. Sign number 1. People who betrayed you had disproportionately fast and severe consequences. It wasn't slow karma. Consequences were almost immediate, fast, precise, surgical, as if the universe said, "You touched someone who carries the mark. You pay 7 times. That person who betrayed you at work, within months, sometimes weeks, their career collapsed. It wasn't one thing. It was 7 things simultaneously. Firing, reputation destroyed, opportunities evaporating, health deteriorating, finances collapsing, and they can't explain it, because it's not linear cause-effect. It's the law of sevenfold operating. Sign number 2. Plans against you failed in statistically impossible ways. People gathered, mounted elaborate schemes, guaranteed every detail perfect. And then, something inexplicable happened. Key piece didn't work. Crucial person had change of heart. Information leaked at wrong moment. Because protection is active, works behind scenes before attack completes. Sign number 3. Opportunities emerged at impossible moments. When you were at absolute limit. When there was no logical way out. Exactly at that moment, bam, door opened. Opportunity emerged from nowhere. Person you didn't even know offered help. Because protection guarantees you don't fall, that you complete the mission you came to do. Sign number 4. Toxic people simply disappear from your orbit. Not because you fought dramatically, they just leave, lose interest, find easier targets, as if they were repelled by invisible force. Because the mark doesn't just attract protection, it also repels predators. Sign number 5. You have persistent sensation of being watched, but it's not paranoia. It's intuitive knowledge that eyes are on you, that presence accompanies you, and that sensation is comforting, because protection operates 24 hours a day. And sign number 6, you feel purpose. It's not vague, I think I should do something. It's deep conviction that there's specific reason for being here. Mission coded in soul, work that only you can do, and that sensation sustains you even when everything collapses, because it's not ego, it's recognition of the mark you carry. But here's the final part that will completely change how you see your own existence. This mark, this protection under the law of sevenfold, it doesn't exist to leave you comfortable living mediocre life. It's to guarantee you complete your mission, to have absolute certainty you arrive where you need to arrive, to eliminate obstacles that would prevent the work you came to do. Because look closely. If the universe invested so much in protecting you, if superior forces establish law that even the devil respects, if you were marked before birth with protection that multiplies by 7 any consequence against whoever attacks you, it's because you have something to do that matters cosmically, something that can't remain incomplete, something that affects not just your timeline but interdimensional ripple that impacts reality. Your life isn't just about you, it's living testimony. It's walking cosmic proof. It's evidence that light can be forged in darkness without becoming corrupt. Every time you overcame obstacle that should have broken you, it wasn't just personal growth. It was demonstration for other chosen ones watching your journey that they can also survive, that they can also evolve through fire, that they can also become indestructible versions of themselves. Your existence proves possibility. And in the universe, possibility is everything. One person doing something impossible breaks entire paradigm, opens path for thousands who follow. If you carry the mark, it means you're doing exactly that. So when you understand, truly understand, that you carry responsibility greater than just individual existence, something fundamental changes. You stop complaining about small difficulties. You stop playing victim. You stop wasting energy on insignificant dramas. Because you realize, if superior forces invested so much in protecting you, in keeping you alive against absurd odds, in guaranteeing you'll complete your mission, then you have sacred obligation to honor that. Obligation not to waste the gift. Obligation not to throw away opportunity billions would kill to have. And that person who tried to use the devil against you, they'll never understand this, because they chose the path of manipulation instead of authenticity, chose masks instead of truth, chose controlling others instead of mastering themselves, and will remain eternally trapped in low frequency, without real protection, without deep purpose, without anything except growing desperation while watching you shine ever brighter. Chosen one, now you know the devastating truth that changes absolutely everything. That person invoked the darkest force that exists in the universe against you, gave your photo to the devil expecting your destruction, and that force looked at you, detected the evolved Mark of Cain, and said with terror, "No, this one I cannot touch. The law of sevenfold would destroy me." You're not a victim of circumstances. You're a warrior under cosmic protection operating under automatic law established by the Creator himself. You're a chosen one, marked for mission that transcends common understanding. You're light forged in darkness that not even absolute darkness dares to challenge. For those who made it this far and want to go deeper into this knowledge about the evolved Mark of Cain, the law of sevenfold, and how chosen ones operate under automatic protection that even demonic forces respect, there's specific material that costs less than a pizza and comes with complete audiobook and 5-minute meditation guide as special bonus. If you feel you deserve to fully understand the level of spiritual authority you carry and how to use this consciously, access is available in the description link and pinned comment. So stop fearing desperate ex-partners. Stop worrying about envious people conspiring. Stop losing sleep over people hiring witches thinking they can bring you down. All of them will encounter the same invisible wall, the same categorical rejection, the same devastating no followed by consequences multiplied by 7 returning to them. Because you no longer operate at frequency they can reach. You transcended, evolved beyond, became something that even the Prince of Darkness recognizes and respects out of pure self-preservation. Your mark screams in spiritual frequencies, protected under law of sevenfold. Touch at your own cosmic risk, and you know what to do now with this knowledge. Honor the protection you received. Honor the sacrifices you made going through fire. Honor the pain you transformed into diamond. Don't waste the gift being small version of yourself. Don't throw away opportunity being mediocre when you were forged to be extraordinary. Don't betray cosmic investment the universe made in you. You were marked to shine intensely. You were protected to complete specific mission. You were sealed with authority that transcends common hierarchies. So do it, without excuses, without self-sabotage, without playing small. If you recognize you carry the evolved Mark of Cain, that you operate under protection of the law of sevenfold, and that this mark confirms greater mission you need to complete, write 777 in the comments to amplify collective frequency of cosmically protected chosen ones. Subscribe to this channel now and activate all notifications to receive more revelations about how marked chosen ones operate under different spiritual laws, and why protection over your life is infinitely more powerful than you ever imagined. Share this video with someone who also went through devastating fire and came out strengthened, because marked warriors need to recognize each other in a world that doesn't comprehend the magnitude of spiritual authority they carry. And before you leave, click on the video appearing on your screen right now to discover additional specific signs that you operate under the mark of divine protection, and why enemies' attempts always fail spectacularly when directed against you. Together we are stronger.